Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach podcast. And today we have a very special episode. We're going to be talking about anti-aging. And whenever you think about anti-aging, the first thoughts that come to your mind are looks. And from there onwards, you start off by understanding a different aspect of anti-aging. And I am somebody who loves this whole world of anti-aging, and that's where I come from. So I thought, what better than to start by talking with a dermatologist who's been there in the industry for the last 15 years and has been looking at this as a field, and she's seen a change across this time. I'm here with Dr. Falguni Shah, and I'm so excited to have this conversation with you, Dr. Falguni, because I remember our initial conversation was exactly around this whole thought about what is looks, what is beauty, and how anti-aging comes into this. So welcome to the Habit Coach podcast.
Hi, Ashdin. Thank you for this opportunity because it's a subject which I'm very passionate about. And I've also realized over the past 15 years that it's such a misunderstood concept completely. Like, I wish we could, exchange the term anti-aging and put it as prevention of aging, because there is nothing like anti-aging. It's more towards how you could preserve what you already have and age gracefully. So I'm glad to be here to, bust some myths and to reinstate certain facts.
We keep putting out content like this on this channel, so please don't forget to hit subscribe and the little bell icon so you know when future videos come out.
Yes, I love that. Busting myths and putting aging aside. I love this whole concept of stopping to worry about aging altogether. And Falguni, do you want to talk a little bit about yourself and what you do so that people get a little context before we jump right into the topic?
Yes, so I'm a practicing dermatologist in the city of Mumbai since 15 years. So after I passed my MBBS, I actually wanted to be a gynecologist, but and that's what I was really aiming for. And I didn't get into an MD gynac, and twice over I got into a specialization in dermatology, and then that's when I realized that maybe that's where my calling is. So when I picked up dermatology, I was like, oh, I don't know what this field is about, and it seems very shallow compared to the clinical background that I come from. However, when I got into my specialization field and I went into a super specialization for aesthetic science, I realized that there is so much science to this that it beats every other postgraduate degree in medicine. Because
Wow.
I realized that skin being the largest organ of the body, it kind of reflects everything which is happening inside before anybody else can diagnose it. So if you take your skin clinically, it's probably the first step towards measuring and diagnosing every possible illness. Plus, being an external organ, it needs to be kept well and looked well, because that's what is your first impression. So your skin is going to say a lot about you when you enter a room. So I think that's how this whole quest for getting deeper into the science of dermatology began. And now I have my own organization, which goes by the name of Radiance Clinic, which is situated in Juhu. And we are equipped with all kinds of different lasers, and most important, with the right science. So, yeah.
I love this thought because when we think about skin, it's just looks. And now you've just taken it many layers in. And it's not just what's happening on the surface, it's about what's happening inside. And even on my Instagram, I keep getting questions from people saying that, my skin is like this, my skin is like that. What do I do? I can't do this because my skin is, what can I put on it? And the immediate thought is, because it's on the outside, you put stuff on it instead of realizing that many things are happening internally and changing internally, right? Um, Thoughts on that?
So let me begin, because being a person of science, I like to be given proof of everything that I say, and I mean clinical evidence, as we say. So there is a reason why MD dermatology is a course, is a medical degree, but after MBBS you have to put in 3 years, and then if you want to do a specialization, you put in another 2 years. So we're talking about a time span of 10 years. So there must be some science in it. However, unfortunately, people have reduced it to being a beauty tool. They're getting very confused between a salon and where a medical aspect of skin comes from. So skin is not a semi-permeable membrane. A semi-permeable membrane is something where you put things about and it kind of disappears underneath. Skin is a
Correct.
structured organ, which what you see from outside is just the skin, but the base starts with the bone, and then you have a fat pad on it, and then you have a muscle on it, then you have collagen, and then finally you have the skin. So there are layers. So when you're talking about aging or everything you see from outside, actually it begins from bone deep. So it's not
Wow.
just deep. And that's where the whole concept of looking a certain way holistically comes up from. It's not about applying a moisturizer. And I know it's a multi-million-dollar industry out there, but it's not wrong, but it's not absolutely right too. So we need to clinically look at it and then talk about the concept of aging.
I think it's not efficient. Like I would say that the topical stuff is not efficient. It's faster to do the internal things. And I think that gives you a longer lasting effect overall than just the topical stuff.
And that gives you the desired effect. You know, it's people get misled by seeing a glossy picture on Instagram or seeing a Kim Kardashian out there looking a certain way and thinking that just by applying a moisturizer at night, you're going to look that. Though that is a Photoshop thing, but I also know that people put in a lot of effort to be looking a certain way, and that effort starts from within, where you need to feel good also. It is not about just painting yourself out there. So like I said, it is bone deep. We'll go more into this and take it forward.
I love this idea. Okay, so when we think about skin, and the obvious thought is aging, right? And that's what what the topic of today's discussion is. So when I say like the word anti-aging, what are the thoughts that come to your mind as a professional in this field?
So let's start with age as a noun. So what happens is every year you are a year older and we celebrate your birthday. So when we were 3, at 4, you are actually aging. So aging starts at the age of 1, because then, so let's not put aging as old, let's put aging as a concept. So what really happens out here is everything changes with every year, you know. So if you begin at the bone shrinks in size, because of which the fat pad on that shrinks in size. So you have a baby fat at the age of say 6, and then you look all svelte and nice at the age of 16, because you've lost the fat and you've got a structure to the entire module, and that structure gets more defined as you grow older. So when you grow older, let's not call it old, because old has somehow become a bad word in our industry, that oh, that one is looking old. However, it is just another thing which has happened. So there's a change in metabolism, the bone density has shrunken, the muscle on that has shrunken, because of that the fat pad has shrunken, and so the skin. So what we are talking about aging as a concept is a change in metabolism which reflects on every single layer and thus reflects skin.
Okay, very interesting. So we're looking at a change in the way that your body metabolizes or functions, or is actually, how would you define this concept
So
of metabolizing?
let me say this, that your body is one single unit, which includes the mind too. So when you age, your mind is also getting more mature and your mind is also progressing. So that also is causing a change on your body. So I believe in anti-aging as a concept where you could say you could mature youthfully and in a certain way to look your best at that particular age. Like if you are 40 and you desire to look at 20, there is clearly something wrong in your mind. You know, you need to start fixing that. So you want to look at 40, what you should look at 40 with, and that also requires help. So I am, you know, my science is all about making you look like a perfect 40-year-old. So I have a teenage daughter at home, 13, and I've earned all the years. So I am more mature than a 13-year-old. So I'm going to look different from a 13-year-old. And it's about accepting that concept and working around it. So that gives you the most natural results. You know,
so the first one is accepting your age in terms of mentally accepting your age.
And happily accepting your age.
Happily accepting your age. Love it. But what about people who are youthful even as they age? So at 50-year-olds, they're still youthful. It's their personality. Is that going to help them in this anti-aging journey, or is it fake?
No, it is going to, but because what do you really mean by personality? Personality is somebody who's active at 50. When you see a 50-year-old, if you see a 50-year-old with a filled up face and a lot of, and no lines, but a slouch potato in one end, you're going to say, oh, she's got work done. But if you see a 50-year-old running on the beach and, you know, post running, she's there to even have a cup of ice cream with her children. And then looking that, it's an entire concept of saying, oh, she's a young looking 50-year-old. So it is about your metabolism. It starts from there. When you mean metabolism, scientifically what it means is your hormones are more active at 50, because hormone is the single most important skin food. It's beyond the beetroot and beyond the celery juices. What makes you look a certain way is those right hormones. And those right hormones are about you feeling good. So we have a bad hormone or a unhappy hormone, which I call as DHT, that is dihydrotestosterone. And then we have a happy hormone called endorphin, to be more specific, serotonin. So when you are happy, your serotonin levels are more, your endorphin is more, DHT is less. So there is the first step. Your DHT, your aging hormone is down, and the happy hormone is up. And that is your single important skin food. So when we talk about aging, it starts from that metabolism. And that metabolism, Ashdin, you need to preserve. You can't start that metabolism at 40. That metabolism needs to start in your 20s. So I tell everyone, anti-aging begins in your youth and not when you've aged. So in 20s, if you develop this habit of physically being more active, which reflects on you mentally being more happy, it's all connected. And so you will age in a certain way nicely. And then all you need at my end is fixing a little bit here and there on the skin, and you are ready to be rocking at 50.
Superb. Superb. So starting early, not in terms of just what you're putting on your face, but starting early in the terms of your mindset, in the way that you're approaching your life health-wise, will actually put you in a far better position at the age of 40 and 50.
Yes.
And you know, very often I have these discussions with a lot of the people who follow this podcast who are in their 20s, and they're saying that, you know, I don't feel like doing anything. I don't feel like it, like, because they haven't understood what 40 will feel like, what 37 will feel like. So it's almost preventative in nature, not prescriptive in nature. Unfortunately, we fall into this prescriptive.
Right word. It's preventative and not prescriptive in nature. And that's what I really want to put across, that I wish we could change the meaning of anti-aging, because I have even my colleagues who will put up that what are the treatments they do, and they write anti-aging treatments. I wish we could change all that and say that let's begin at 20. We would not need that entire word out there. Prevention is the right way to go ahead.
I remember doing a market research survey many years ago on anti-aging, and people were like, why are you calling it anti-aging? We are not old. I don't need anti-aging. When I'm old, I'll worry about anti-aging.
Yeah, you need to worry at 20. So I have like I said, I'm again talking about it because I got inspired, and I said I had finished my workout, but I ran here, so I said let me also have my. But I'm having a plant-based natural thing.
I'm having the exact opposite.
I could see that. So it is just about day before yesterday. My 13-year-old wouldn't get up from her bed, and she says, well, I'm too depressed, I'm too low. I was wondering, what is this generation about? And then I said, have a look at your diet, sweetheart. That much sugar, that much preservative, you are going to feel low. Zero physical exercise, all the time on Instagram discussing with your friends, and then worried about one particular friend not talking to you, and that sugar has acted on your mind, made you so slow, and you don't go and play basketball down anymore, and that is making you even, so you are going to feel depressed. And at that stage I thought a 13-year-old skin was looking duller than what a 40-year-old skin could look. So where is this concept? It has to start from somewhere where it is also connected with your happiness. And I actually heard a podcast of yours, Ashdin, when I was trying to know what podcasts are all about. And I'll give you a very important insight. You did something on melatonin. And I thought I'm going to talk to you about melatonin today, which is the single most important anti-aging factor. So if you, in yesteryears, they used to say Cleopatra used to sleep for 16, 17 hours a day to look herself, to look beautiful. And that's because the more you sleep, the more melatonin you release.
Right.
And that is why she needed to sleep that long to get that much melatonin, which really clearly we can't do. So, but 8 hours of nice, peaceful sleep, like you rightfully said in your podcast, like switch off that light at 9:30 p.m. and you see how you look in the morning. So switch off your phones, switch off that 9:30 p.m. TV and Netflix, wake up early with the sun, work out, and I'm out of the picture. You know, I lose my job then. But It is one of the right ways to go about in an anti-aging regime.
Correct. You said something so important about sugar. I remember when I went on my 100-day no sugar challenge for the first time, right? I was a sugar fiend. You put sugar in front of me and it'd be gobbled up. And when I did my 100-day no sugar challenge, by day 60, my face had changed.
Yeah.
My skin had changed. It wasn't looking dark. It wasn't looking dull. There was a different aura, inverted commas, to it. And it completely affected the way. What is happening at that point of time? Is sugar affecting it at a cellular structure? What's taking place?
Okay, let me tell you something about sugar. Sugar is a
Hmm.
hygroscopic element. Okay, so what
Hmm.
it means by it absorbs moisture. So
Hmm.
when you have so much sugar in your body, first thing it does is it absorbs all the natural water which is there, your
Hmm.
hydration. So your skin, and what is hydration all about? Water. If you see a swimming pool, or if you see the sea, when light
Hmm.
falls on it, it gets reflected, and you see a sheen on that. And
Right.
that's what a healthy skin should have. It should have its own light. It should
Hmm.
reflect light. But if that
Hmm.
water is missing because of all the excess sugar you've gobbled up, it's
Hmm.
absorbed everything, your skin starts looking matte. And then
Right.
people go about, they think, oh, my skin doesn't have moisture. So the first thing is put a moisturizer. Hydration is very different from the cream you apply from outside. Your,
Hmm.
your moisturizing routine starts from within. So you cut down on the sugar, the natural moisture will get better in your skin. Your skin will look more hydrated. That is point number one. Of course, we all know what sugar does to your metabolism. It slows it down. It makes you put on fat. You look obese. So that is another concept. But since we're talking only about aging today, I'm only going to
Hmm.
speak to the cosmetic benefits of or ill effects of sugar. So
Correct.
that's the most important thing, that it takes away all the water, and
Hmm.
10% of your skin, or the
Hmm.
10% of the first layer of your skin, is water. If
Okay.
that disappears, your skin then becomes open to damage from outside, the sun, the pollution, everything else.
Hmm.
So, but if that water is there, it is the barrier function, and it will prevent those factors from affecting you more seriously than what they should. Of course, we do need help. I am not going against my industry. I love my sunscreen. I love my cleanser. I love my anti-aging retinol cream. We come to that. That
All right.
all that is inefficient if
Hmm.
your body is not in the right shape to accept it.
Correct.
So
It's
that's why
like putting on a masking or putting on a layer of plaster on a wall that is damaged.
yeah,
Right. It's
it's like, let's build on the barrier function of the skin by cutting down on sugar first, and
hmm.
then putting things from above.
Absolutely. I love this. And in fact, you were telling me that hydration is an important aspect of this. Do you have any tips on hydration for looking younger?
So the
Looking.
first tip of hydration is, as we know, 67% of our body, we all know this, blah, 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 is made up of water. We can even
Hmm.
go up to saying 70% of your body is made up of water. So
Correct.
drink enough water. You can
Your
have,
cucumbers with anxiety. Have you heard that joke?
yes. So keep drinking around 3 to 4 liters of water in a day, and
Hmm.
um, even more. There's nothing like more hydration. All you'll end up going to the bathroom more often. But keep drinking
Hmm.
water. Point number one. Second
Hmm.
is prevent the loss of moisture. So use a
Hmm.
sunblock regularly, so
Okay.
that the natural water from your skin doesn't get evaporated. Use a
Okay.
broad spectrum sunscreen. When I mean broad spectrum is, people generally concentrate on SPF 30 30 30. It's an overdone
Hmm.
thing. What one
Hmm.
needs to look into is actually a broad spectrum, which means coverage against UVA and UVB both. And
Okay.
then you could pick up a minimum SPF 30. That is the last thing to look for in a sunblock. So use a
Hmm.
sunblock regularly, drink water, and another last, it's a tip I give all my patients and
Hmm.
all my family also, that when you wash your face,
Hmm.
when a few droplets of water are remaining, stop patting your face there. Let
Okay.
that water get absorbed into your skin naturally. You don't need to
Hmm.
wipe it off. That
Okay.
also helps in, these are simple ways of retaining the moisture.
Lovely. All right. So pat till there are a few drops left.
And
Drink
on
enough
top of that,
water.
then you can use a moisturizer when few drops are remaining. So it even blocks and, keeps that moisture there where it wants it to.
Lovely. So when we think about anti-aging, do you want to break it up into a few categories? Let's break it up into the natural stuff that we should all be doing.
Yeah.
Then what are the products we can use? And
Yeah.
then some of the fancy stuff that we can do.
Right.
I
So
think that would be a fun way of looking at it.
yeah, that's fine. So we start with category 1. What is a
Hmm.
natural way? Like I have even mentioned earlier, start your exercise routine in your 20s. Be physically active. You will forever produce more endorphin than DHT. Because see, remember, anti-aging is not just about skin, it's also about your hair. So when your hair is also nice and glossy and thick, you are youthful. So DHT also, a high level of DHT leads to hair droppage, leads to anxiety, a lot of things. So start working out early. Keep hydration a part of your routine. Keep drinking a lot of water. See to it that you're sleeping well. So less of social media. I don't know if that is really possible in today's age, but as much as possible. So let's keep this as a lifestyle change. Of course, eating the right food. I'm a huge binger of the vada pav that you get on the street. So I'm not saying that don't get there. I mean, do all of it, but see to it that it is in
Correct.
a controlled way. I mean, don't binge on whatever. Of course, I need to bring this that of late, there was a time 5 years ago when I had people coming into my office and, they would keep their wallet and the cell phone the minute they come on the side. So this is like what goes with it. Today, I have people who come with wallet, cell phone, and a pack of cigarettes. It has changed. And unfortunately, I see more women smoking than men. And I've seen it, it's become like all three are on the table. And I'm like, can we like cut on that? Because that's the worst you could do to your skin. So
It's
maybe
the exact opposite of what you're trying to do while coming and meeting you.
you're coming and meeting me, and then you're actually asking me also, doctor, please give me some natural treatment. And I'm like, really? I mean, it is a complete paradox. So yes, habits make a difference. Coming to what products you need to use. There are 3 steps of,
Before products, I have a quick question.
yeah.
Very often people blame the genetics for all the issues that they're having, especially gray hair, falling hair, face, etc., 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 etc. How much do you think is actually genetics? How much do you think is lifestyle?
Gray hair is genetic. So let's give,
Okay.
people who say that, yes, because of you, I got gray hair. Yes, you can blame your parents.
Nah,
Yes.
no having black sesame seeds and any of that will help in your gray hair.
It's an industry hype. I'm sorry to cut all the farmers here down, but there's nothing one can do for gray hair other than going and coloring them. So let's break that myth. Second, most of us are genetically in this continent blessed because we have good amount of melanin. Melanin is the best anti-aging ever. Okay, because it slows down the skin aging. So genetically, we are anyway blessed. However, I would not run down genetics where quality of skin is concerned. I would not run down genetics where quality of hair is concerned, because that's what you're born with. But I have seen people with perfectly great genes ruining it down because of lifestyle. So one can better on your genes with lifestyle, and one can run down your genes by lifestyle. So we cannot undermine the importance of lifestyle at all. So it's a combination, but we can't run down the genes too. So it's a healthy combination of the two.
Fair enough. All right, lovely. Sorry, you were getting into
coming to products. I would say let's break it down into 3 basic steps. First important step is always cleansing. So cleanse the skin properly. Use a cleanser which is detergent free. So maybe you sticking to a face wash makes sense. Maybe 2 or 3 times a day is the max you need to use. Second, always is sun protection. I swear by it, and it is not about becoming fair or dark. I'm very happy with my dark skin color, and I think everyone looks best in their own skin color. So using a sunscreen is, like I said, one is to preserve the hydration. Second is to keep the ill effects of the sun out, which means loss of collagen, early wrinkling and all that. So sunscreen usage is important. And third is moisturize your skin at night. This moisturizer depends upon each skin has its own thing. So, maybe an oil-free or a combination skin, that depends on your skin type. Cleansing, sun protection, moisturizing are the 3 basic steps that you can start as early as in your 20s.
Okay, lovely.
And maintain this throughout. So that's your point number 2. Anti-aging, the minute you cross 30, there are 3 gems of anti-aging which are included in your night care routine. One is retinol. See to that you use a night cream which has retinol. Second is hyaluronic acid. And third is a peptide. So these are 3 major pillars of anti-aging which will make your skin more youthful. So that's what you need to do. And the last category is...
Do 3 of these come in one product? Are they 3 different products? How does it work?
There are certain which can be combined. There are certain which should not be combined, because certain products, like for example, I would combine hyaluronic acid and retinol because one enhances the result of the other. But I would not combine in the same product an antioxidant like say a vitamin C and retinol, because I prefer to use them separately. So we have enhancers and we have one acting as a catalyst to the other. So we need to, this is a deeper science. We could do another podcast on that somewhere as to which enhances, because it's a huge thing. But you need to pick up those products a little bit sensibly. You don't need to rush to an airport and pick up a La Mer, which is like, I think it costs 100 pounds for a 30 grams. I mean, I would die for doing that. That's too much.
And then have a cigarette outside.
And so that's there. And then we go to a deeper category of anti-aging where we have the non-invasive ones, where I really like certain procedures like radio frequency and HIFU. These are what are the collagen boosters. That means collagen is the glue which sticks the skin to all the underlying layers. I'm just giving you a very lay definition of collagen. And it's very important to keep that collagen alive in your skin, because we do not produce more collagen with every thing. So when I'm 20, I will have a lesser collagen than what I have at 21. It doesn't get replaced naturally. So we need to build up on what is actually there. And for that, we use something called radio frequency and another procedure called HIFU. And then, of course, I love my injectables, the botulinum toxins and the fillers. I know it sounds like a paradox when we're talking about natural and this. However, every science has its own benefits when used rightly. Everything in excess is bad. Everything in the right quantity is great. So these are proven sciences which you could use as you grow. Again, another concept I want to bust is people say, I would start all anti-aging treatments when I'm 50. I would say you would start it in moderation when you're 30 so that you don't need it when you're in your 50s. So these are how we can break up all the procedures.
And the way I see it, it's a journey, right? You don't have to immediately get to the invasive procedures. You first create the other. And then you get to those.
You cannot get into the invasive procedures before doing all this. So if somebody comes to me at 50, even if they're late, I will say, I'm sorry, we can't pick up the needle. You need to start with your collagen buildup. You need to start with your metabolism. And then we come to this.
Have you seen collagen supplements work?
Collagen supplements work only, let me put it like that. It's not that collagen supplements don't work. But
it takes 7 years to work.
It is not that it is going to make a huge difference when you start taking it. You start exercising, build up the protein, take a collagen supplement. The combination of all 3 will work. Because collagen is going to increase the hydration and the glue capacity. But what is that glue for? If your muscle is not built up and your skin is not multiplying, what is a glue going to do?
Correct.
That's where it works.
Lovely. What about other supplements that people can take off the counter that work in this regime? Like, I don't know, EGCGs, glutathione, are those things that people should be taking, thinking about? What are your thoughts on them?
As we have evolved as a population, our skincare routines have also evolved, and a large part of it, I would put it as nutraceuticals. It's an entire new branch of medicine. And nutraceutical, as the word suggests, is nutrition given. Sutic is skin, nutrition given to the skin. Where we have all now understood or come to the conclusion that nutrition to the skin is more from within. So it makes sense to take certain nutraceuticals. However, I know that people actually wake up and start their breakfast with like 15 tablets. That is not required. So if we can do quick summary, like what we need is, one is antioxidants, because we have a lifestyle, however, whatever we say, we are not going to have the most optimum lifestyle. We all have our own stresses. I may be on a podcast and talk good things, but I sleep depressed very often. So it's important that we supplement ourselves with the right antioxidants. Vitamin E is a good thing, which is around 400 milligrams you can take. Vitamin C as 1000 milligrams you should take. Glutathione is excellent for your immunity. So 1000 milligrams of glutathione under the guidance of a doctor is a good thing. Now, even there's a white paper published on how glutathione helps in building up your immunity against COVID too. So with great, you can have great immunity because it's a mother of all antioxidants.
Lovely.
So it can be taken.
So Falguni, how do we consume glutathione? Do we take it as a capsule, liposomal? Do we spray it under our tongue? Do we get an injectable? How should we think about glutathione?
So glutathione is an antioxidant. We can give it orally, we can give it intravenously, we can give it sublingually. Sublingually is when you put it under your tongue. You could use it as a spray on your skin. You could have a patch on your skin. So subcutaneously, multiple ways. First, let's understand and bust a myth. People have started using glutathione because they want to get fairer or whiter. That I'm not going to discuss because I'm completely against that. So I'm not even getting on that topic. But glutathione, being a strong antioxidant, definitely takes care of the toxins which your skin is exposed to. That makes your skin brighter, even, glossier, more hydrated, because you are taking care of all the toxins. So if you know, glutathione actually was started as an antioxidant for the immunosuppressive patients. That's how it came into being. They were given glutathione to build up on their immunity. So if you are a healthy individual, you can do with taking glutathione orally, sublingually, or you could take it as an effervescent tablet. That is up to you, what you like. The absorption of that is pretty low. So if you're taking, say, 600 or 1200 milligram of glutathione, you're not going to absorb a whole lot, but whatever you absorb is good enough for you. But if you have been through damage, okay, like for example, a chronic smoker or someone who's a lot into alcohol, and we need more repair, then we may consider injections. So you have to decide as to what amount of glutathione we want in a system as an absorption. Definitely, IV glutathione gets absorbed more than oral. So you have to weigh and decide and diagnose and then take a call.
Lovely. Falguni, what are your thoughts on IV therapies, Myers-Briggs cocktails, etc.? Are they something that you do in the anti-aging world, or is it? Sorry,
your voice?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Okay, sorry. Can you hear me now? Is this clear?
Yeah, this is better. Yeah.
Okay. So I was saying, what are your thoughts on IV therapies? Oh.
Okay, you're talking about IV therapies. Right. So all over the world, there's a concept of something which is called a drip bar, DRIP-BAR. Okay, there are specific bars. You can actually go and get a drip of your choice. I like them. And I feel, I'm going to elaborate a bit on this. So everything, if we are giving in the proportion required, for example, if an athlete comes to me, I would do certain tests on him, and then I would like to give him a drip of an amino acid and a D3 combination and a lot of others, which I think he will help him in building up his forte. But this is a very sensitive science. You need to have enough knowledge of absorption through the intravenous system of every particular vitamin you have administered. It can be as, it can have its own set of side effects if it is done not well, because you don't want an overload of any vitamins in your system. So drip bars or a drip therapy needs to be tailor-made and specific. It cannot be one for all, right? So it can't be like, okay, I'm going to go and take a drip to look better today. There are drips which are given even for hangovers. You know, we can give a high proportion of a vitamin K and other things to prevent a hangover. There are drips which are given for all these professionals who fly very often and have to, you know, go and attend a meeting immediately, so that you don't have jet lag. So we can give a certain amount of magnesium and zinc in that. So you need to know what is the absorption of each, and you can design a drip accordingly. And I do have that facility. I do that in my clinic a lot, but it's a tailor-made thing. So I will never have somebody taking an appointment at the front desk and saying, I want to take an appointment for a drip. There has to be a consult before that appointment.
I love it. So can someone come to you and just say, I want to, how should somebody come and approach you for something like this? Should they come and say, I want to feel the best that I possibly can? Should somebody come up to you and say, I want as many anti-aging benefits as possible? Like, you know, how should somebody come and approach you with this kind of not with IV drips, as in general?
So a way a person approaches me of late, I think this I've developed and, you know, understood over the past 15 years, that I've been able to recognize a patient by talking to them. Every consultation has to be long, because like we have now concluded that it has a lot to do with your inner self. I've started understanding the needs of people. So I'd never start on injectables the first time they come to me. I'm like, no, I start with something. If somebody comes and says like, okay, I feel I am not looking, I want to look younger than what I am. Off late, doc, I feel my lines are looking deeper. Or they come and say, off late, doc, my face is started, you know, sagging a little bit more. Some come and say, my skin has started looking dull. And from each word they say, you come to know a lot about that person. So as a rule, I will not start injectables the first time they see me. I put them on a skincare routine. I make them do some, but I will do something for them, because I've realized that sometimes feeling good can start with looking good also, rather than the other way around. You know, they say every time we keep saying, oh, you have to feel good to look good. That's a long process. You could help them a bit. You can make them look better. They go home looking better, motivates them to follow the abstract things. And then when they come back, I see, I guess, I try to make out as to how happy they are with the first session, which will tell me a lot about them. Because I don't know if you have heard this, there is a huge incidence of BDS in our practice, which is a body dysmorphic syndrome. And it is not as rare as what people think. There are people who are perpetually unhappy about the way they look. And that has nothing to do with the skin. It is a syndrome which needs to be addressed. Because in fact,
in the fitness world as well, body dysmorphia is something that is so huge.
Yes, and what happens is, and then you start questioning your skills. That I think I'm doing everything right for her, and I can see a change in her, but she cannot see it. So, and at that stage, it becomes like, keep doing more, keep asking more, keep doing more, and there's no end to it, because that person is not going to be satisfied. So you need to start from there. Do a little bit. When you see their response, you automatically will come to know whether you're on the right track, and then proceed slowly. And I keep telling them that let's not do everything on day one, because you also don't want to go back home and you don't want people to ask you, hey, what have you done to your face?
Correct. It has to be a gradual change.
It has to be gradual. We all, you know, we are a population which lives in the closet. We are not open about this. So I know people, actors and all, who have completely under injectables and just say that looking the way they are because of having a beetroot. So we are a closeted population, and we want to go. I keep telling them, you want to.
That was hilarious. I'm the way I am because I ate a beetroot. It's like brilliant. It's so true.
They will just, you know, profess about all the stupidly expensive superfoods available in a nature's basket and make people keep buying those things. And then there is a whole Those people get into depression that, oh, I'm doing everything that that particular actor did, but I'm not looking like that. So we're not going to get out of the closet so early. So we need to
Correct.
gradually make them reach there so that people
Love
think
it.
it's a natural result.
Superb. Okay, so I think we're coming towards the end of our podcast. What I want us to do is there something that you can tell people that they can start doing from today onwards, almost as a regime? Like 5 things that they can start from today that is going to start making a difference over the next 2 months, say.
Perfect. So what we do is we'll make them look
What
good
would
and
that
that
be?
will
It
come
could
to feeling good.
be lifestyle change, it could be things to put on the face, it could be things to eat. All right,
Right.
done. Lovely.
So start with 3 things they will put on their face. One is everyone who is listening to your podcast today will start using a sunscreen, a broad spectrum sunscreen, SPF minimum 30, every morning after a bath, irrespective of whether they're going out or not. Because we have a UVA and a UVB. UVA is what you have indoors, UVB is what you have outdoors. So we need protection against both. That's step number
Okay.
1. Everyone listening to your podcast is going to stop using a soap and is going to start using a light detergent free face wash, which doesn't leave their skin too stretchy and dry once they have washed their face, not more than 2 times a day.
Okay.
Third thing they would do is everyone probably should start exercising for 20 to 30 minutes daily, and you will see they would like the way they feel, because that itself will make a big difference. Start having 3 to 4 liters of water every day. And absolutely, I can go a step further, the 5th one, and say that everybody in this surrounding and the kind of environment we are, start having 1000 milligrams of vitamin C. Vitamin C only don't have it if you have a liver ailment, because we don't want more pressure on the liver. It's an antioxidant. But other than that, everyone can have 1000 milligrams of vitamin C. Good skin,
Perfect.
good hair, and good immunity.
Love it. And 1000 mg at one shot, 1000 mg, 500, 500 through the
one
day.
shot. 1000 mg in one shot. And again, there are multiple ways of having a vitamin C. You could take it as a chewable capsule. You could take it as an effervescent one. You could take it as, I think there is another way of taking it also. Yeah, you could just suck on that thing for some time. There are multiple forms of vitamin C available, and like a regular capsule, whatever you like.
Do you have a preference on what kind of vitamin C that you like? Or normal ascorbic acid is fine? Is there anything fancier? Or should you not worry about anything fancy?
There is something called a tablet Limc available over the counter, 1000 milligrams. There is a NRC, which is an effervescent one. There's a sugar-free one, which is also, it's an effervescent one. I forget the name, but it is sugar. So we have options in effervescent ones, whether you want the one with the sugar or without the sugar. Of course, please go in for the one without sugar. And yeah, these are more than, and there's a Celin, CELIN, which is again something that you can take orally. So these are your 1000 milligrams you could take. You could, maybe I could add one more thing, that there is absolutely a good, this is a good weather of starting an application of vitamin C on your skin too. Vitamin C serums also do a great job. And again, one can universally apply it, whether you have an oily skin, dry skin, normal skin. So maybe apply it also and take it also.
Nice. I think vitamin C is something that is so important in this time, and I think throughout life, just for us, because we're not getting enough of it through our food, especially now with the quality of food that we're getting. It's so important to get it as a supplement. Lovely. Dr. Falguni, where can people reach out to you? Sorry, you were saying something.
And I also see that everything, of course, in the lockdown, the pollution is less, but we are in such unhealthy environments that taking an antioxidant is always a good idea.
Correct. Yes. You don't necessarily need something like a glutathione, but like at least a vitamin C is a good starting.
Good start. Good start. Yeah.
Green tea, good for you for the skin, anti-aging. We didn't even mention green tea throughout this conversation. Important, not important? What's your take on it?
So green tea, good. Any tea, good. So it's not, green tea is a fad, but any tea, good. Tea is an antioxidant. Excess of any kind of tea, bad. Excess of green tea is a blood thinner. And excess of a regular tea also makes you a little bit more hyper. So it causes more anxiety. So 1 cup of any kind of tea is good. I don't know whether people are now over this, but 6 months ago, I had people, or 1 year ago, every single patient who would enter my office was with a jar with a drop of green tea and sipping it throughout. Because people thought it's a weight loss thing. And you could do it, but I have green tea, but I have just 1 cup every day, and that's more than enough.
Okay, lovely. Okay, we were coming to the end, but now I'm a little greedy. Anything for improving hormones? So one is obviously exercise and feeling good. But is there anything that you can use either as a supplement or as any other aspect to improve your hormones in the way they function?
I think vitamin E can be safely said as something which helps in improving the hormones. So if you're a younger age group, so when I mean, say till you're 30, 35, even before your 40s, you could stick to vitamin E 400 milligrams. And post 40, maybe you could use a derivative, which is called the evening primrose oil. It's around 500 milligrams, but it does help the hormones. It somewhere makes you a little bit better with your hormones.
This is what's given for also perimenopause, etc., right? The primrose oil.
See, today perimenopause and premenopause has again become a very large topic, because women are, menopause doesn't mean just the time when you stop your period. Sometimes just a hormonal imbalance makes a person more menopausal. So it would be safe to say that if you're in your 30s, till your 30s, stick to vitamin E, and after your 30s, maybe you could take a Primosa.
Lovely, lovely. All right, superb. Thank you so much for joining us. Where can people reach out to you, ask you more questions, come and meet you? How should it work for you?
So I have an Instagram handle of Dr. Falguni Shah, and they could probably leave me a DM there. My contact details are also on the Instagram handle. I try my best to answer the DMs. I may miss a couple, but I'm generally a very diligent person, so I do get it done somewhere. And otherwise, I have, if somebody wants to see me personally, I have an office in Juhu. It goes in Mumbai. It goes by the name of Radiance Clinic, and all my contact details are on my Instagram handle and my Facebook page, which goes by Radiance Skin Clinic. So I think it's not very difficult to connect with me.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you so much for being on the Habit Coach podcast. I look forward to doing this again. Maybe in the future again, we must do this. There's so much to talk about.
Thanks, Ashdin. It was great, and it was awesome speaking to you. And I love that you were outdoors. It's like a pleasure to the eyes to see something green and outside of home. So I can see that you are not at home, and
we're on our farm.
I could see that. So it was great to have different backgrounds over there. So we hope to catch up soon again. It was lovely talking to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.